SpatialVisionIP.com.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Bold Inventor Show. It is right at noon on Pacific time, 3 o'clock East Coast. Got my co-host, Matt Kulseth, with me. Hey, Matt.
Hello, hello.
Good afternoon to you. How are things up in Minnesota?
We're doing okay up here. You know,
Okay,
we're staying motivated. People are still showing up for their neighbors, and sounds like we're chasing ice out of Minneapolis. So,
what was the last thing?
Sounds like we're chasing the ice out of Minneapolis.
Good. That's great. Get them out. Out for sure.
Yeah. How are you?
Doing good. We're also getting the ice out, the non-capitalized version, the frozen H2O version.
Nice.
It's like early spring, so I put on some flowers today. We're up to like 50s, 40s, 50s up here, which is nice. Sun's coming out.
It's nicer over here in Minnesota right now too, but that means potholes are out. So we just popped a couple tires the other day. So
nasty. Okay, well, hope everybody stays safe as you guys get through the thaw. Let's see. We got a good guest today. I just chatted with him briefly. It's Bob Brown.
Great.
He's the Dirt Whisperer. Love that name. He's got a lot technical side and construction, lots of different backgrounds. So we'll have him on in just a few minutes. I wanted to get to a couple questions that came in over the week, and then we can get to our guest. If you're on live and you have a question, this is the time to ask it. We're going to have a short show today, just a half hour today, but we're here every week. So if you want to hop on, if you're watching this now, if you want to be live, it's noon on the West Coast every Wednesday and 3 p.m. on the East Coast. So let's see. We just got to get to some of these very intelligent, smart folks asking questions on our Reddit channel. We're delayed. There's like 20 questions. These poor people. Okay. They have nowhere to go, but they're going bold. So let's start with, oh my gosh, that is so intellectual. I don't even know how to answer that.
I love it.
You want to jump into this? Okay. This looks scary.
As long as it's not trademark related. I'm just kidding.
This looks, I feel like I'm going to go to academia looking at this question. My eyes just glazed over. How does the concept of intellectual property fit into libertarian views on monopolies? And what alternatives do they suggest for encouraging innovation? I need a dictionary, Matt. I mean,
Yeah.
What does this mean? Can you help me break that question down?
Yeah, libertarian views on monopolies. I would think that libertarians would not like monopolies.
Okay.
They are obviously for free markets, right?
Free market. Okay. So how does IP fit into a capitalistic mindset?
Well, I guess patents we're granting a monopoly for a limited time. Limited.
Yes. Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution.
Look at you.
Cites for limited time rewarding inventors and for discoveries of sciences and art. So novel, brand new, first of its kind inventions, we want to reward that. And the trade is, hey, you share what you've come up with all of us, and we're going to give you a limited monopoly, the ability to exclude everyone else. There's an additional big burden that sometimes surprises people that go through the whole process of actually getting a patent. Is there's no police, there's no enforcement body.
Yeah.
We could talk about immigration, but there's enforcement in lots of other areas of the government.
There sure is.
Certainly is no patent enforcement officers to date currently looking for infringers.
Don't give anyone any ideas now.
Well, so that is on you, the inventor. And, so sure, you've got the right to exclude, but that just gives you the ability to have a federal action. We've got Danny Lynn. Be sure to put all this in your podcast, everything that's happening on its way to the commander of the U.S. Army. I guess somebody was looking out since nobody would listen. Interesting. All right. Well, let us move on. We're going to talk with Bob Brown. He's our guest for the show today. Let's do one more question, Matt. We want a little bit more.
Let's do it.
This is a little bit murky, but it's real life. It's a trademark question with social media. All right. Here we go. Hello, my partner is in a wellness space, yoga, meditation, energy healing, and started her TikTok channel recently within 5 weeks. She had over 10K followers and is starting to monetize. People are already starting to copy her profile. We're thinking of trademarking, registering her name, looking at the SPTO. The process seems straightforward, but I'm being told that it's best to hire an attorney. Lawyers are charging $3K for one class. And if it gets rejected, that's additional. We can't afford it at the time. Can't afford that price. What do you suggest we do? Can we do it ourselves? What if we get rejected? All those questions, man.
Yeah, I think in a situation like this, I think it's worth your time to talk to a trademark attorney, even if you don't hire them to file the trademark for you. I think that's probably the first thing to do. Clients can file their own trademarks. They certainly do. Some are successful, others aren't. It is expensive, right? $3,000's not out of the realms of possibility in terms of cost associated with having a professional file something like this for you.
Yeah.
So it is real money. It's not crazy money, but it's real money. You can do it yourself, but I think before you would even consider doing that, I think I would talk to a trademark attorney and see what they think, if you could do it yourself or not.
Yep. So at least get the consultation. Paid consult.
I think that a paid consultation would be money well spent.
Okay. Yep. Oh, that's good.
At least at our firm, if we do a paid consultation for a prospective client and they end up going with us, we put that money towards their legal expenses.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Matt. Very good. Well answered. I think I agree with that. Even if the question were on the patent side, if you can't afford the whole process, at least get the right direction, get some consulting is better than none. Yeah.
I mean, it's easier than ever to potentially file your own trademark. There are a lot of resources out there. AI is out there now, but I do still think it's worth talking to a professional about, if the trademark's even viable before you decide to start spending time and money on your own application. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's dig into it. We've got about 21 minutes left. I want to get Bob Brown. Bob, welcome to the Bold Inventor Show.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Bob.
Absolutely. Pleasure to have you. Thank you for being here. I love your moniker, the Dirt Whisperer. We got to start with that. When did you first have that assigned to you, or did you adopt it yourself as the Dirt Whisperer? How do you get that name?
Well, I own a foundation repair company, and one of my employees came up with it for me, and it just stuck.
Got it. Sounds good. Well, foundation repair, that sounds pretty scary, right? So how often does this happen? Should I be worried about my foundation? What kind of dirt are we talking about here?
Well, I mean, it does happen, in a number of places. I think Phoenix, where I'm from, it probably happens less than anywhere else. Dallas is really bad. Denver's bad. The coasts, the east and west coasts, are kind of rough. Even places like Kentucky and Tennessee, and they all have problems. It just depends what the drainage is like on your house and what kind of soil is under it. And really, it's all about the soil, which is how I got my moniker, because you really want to understand the layering of the soils and how they're reacting to water, and what that does to the foundation, and how you interpret it, and then how do you fix it, right? All those kinds of things.
Yeah, got it. And let's talk about maybe your background and kind of how you got into this industry. If you don't mind breaking this down with that, and maybe if even before that, if you have gotten into any inventions prior to this.
So I graduated from Arizona State University in architecture and in finance. And the finance degree was a couple of classes different than a real estate. So I've always been actively involved in real estate. I was supposed to be a developer, but I didn't have any money. So that plan wasn't very good, So I just started doing construction repairs. Actually, I did that through college. I actually worked my way because my parents didn't have any money. I actually just went out and did planter curb repairs for shopping centers. And I noticed that those planter curbs don't have any rebar in them and they break easily. So I said to the property manager, hey, I'll fix that and I'll put rebar in it, make sure it lasts, and so they liked that idea. And so, I always looked at, okay, how do you fix it? How do you understand the problem, why it's breaking? And how do you come up with a better mousetrap to make it work better? And I always did that for my career, even just doing mundane things like concrete repair and masonry repair. I always tried to look beyond the just going and doing it over and over and over again, the same old thing, right? Try to look beyond that a little bit. And eventually that's what kind of led to a lot of my ideas. I had a complete fab shop and I'd go out there and, there'd be like, oh, here comes the mad scientist again, got another idea, and I would try something and it might work, it might not work, you never know until you try it, right?
Sure.
And my first invention, it was really kind of a waste of money. I think I spent like 50 grand on the patents, maybe more.
Okay.
And, it's like a mentor of mine, Peter Diamandis, said, you really got to invent something people want. A lot of people come up with really groovy ideas, but nobody wants them. That doesn't help you, right? And that's exactly what I did. I came up with this really cool idea, but I didn't have a way to apply it. I wasn't doing new construction and nobody wanted it. It just sat there and did nothing. So I learned from that. And I realized that, hey, I need to solve real life problems that we're running into in a novel way. And then that started taking off. I started developing things that I could use right away. And now, after I sold my foundation repair company, I kept all the intellectual property, and I now have other contractors using those inventions.
Got it. So you're now licensing your technology or your method or process
Correct.
to contractors. Okay. Got it. I'd like to kind of show that off. And that is the SpatialVision. Is that correct?
SpatialVision is software that I've developed to help engineers and inspectors and contractors and also foundation repair contractors and flooring contractors to help them understand the levelness of a floor. You go in with an instrument called a manometer. About every 5 feet, you take a reading. It pumps that elevation into the software. It prints out a 3D visualization of what that floor looks like. And now you can understand where it's high and where it's low and what you need to do and all that kind of stuff, which is crucial to a lot of things, flooring contractors, foundation repair contractors, engineers that want to understand it better. Sorry.
No problem.
So that system is basically I've got the trademark on the name, and we've even are pursuing a patent because what we're processing with that is very unusual stuff that nobody has really done before. So I know those are hard to get, but we're trying.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, sorry, I kind of jumped the gun. So what is it that you're actually licensing now?
Well,
what are some examples of the technology
Sure.
licensing?
So I am licensing out the software, and I have probably a good couple hundred users using it right now. And then I've developed a couple of other patents, one called Never Rust that uses totally non-ferrous components to replace the rusting elements of a stem wall, the rebar, the hold down straps, the J-bolts, the jacks to hold it in place. Everything is a composite carbon fiber mix that's printed with 3D printers, and it allows the repairs to be made from below without having to tear the whole wall up. Got a number of really cool advantages. Another system is a moisture level system that basically dries out expansive clays under a house. So what happens a lot of times is you have a house, particularly in an arid environment, water gets, on the edges from a rainstorm, it has nowhere to go, it has poor drainage. It soaks down, goes underneath the house, and is attracted to the middle of the house because it's very dry, and clays want to pull water towards them. And so I've developed this, and then what happens is those clays, when they get wet, they swell, and the middle of the house starts going up. And so there's really been nobody that has developed any kind of solution to that problem. And I developed a system that basically dries out those clays under the house and shrinks them back down again. And so that's the moisture level system. And then I'm working on a third system called the needle pile that basically is a very small diameter pile that you can put in a floor and raise the floor. Currently, you have to put big old 8-inch cores in a slab to lift it up. And that's, you put that 4 feet on center both ways, you've just destroyed the slab. So 2-inch hole is a preferable way to go.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just pick one of those. Let's go with that clay one you mentioned. I mean, is that common in certain parts of the country? Or is it really going to be prevalent wherever, all over, to have this sort of centering, high center?
Oh, okay. The moisture level system.
Moisture, yeah.
You're going to have more heating problems in arid climates. So places like Phoenix, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Eastern Oregon, Washington, California, past the mountain ranges, right? Even North Dakota, so, back east, maybe not so much. It's pretty wet back east. So, I mean, you might still get heating there, but just not as much. You're going to get a lot more in the arid climate areas.
Yeah. Okay. And so I guess, and apologize, by the way, Bob, I've been trying to remove kind of a rogue messenger here where we had to disconnect LinkedIn. So I've been doing my best to try to hear you, but I'm trying to get this guy out. So I've stopped our LinkedIn stream. Unfortunately, was not able to remove the individual.
I think we have a bot or something like that.
Yeah, but so, man, so you've done a ton. I mean, so, we don't really get into the dollars, but let's talk about the scale of number of contractors that are using your moisture level sensor. I mean, is this taken off, or is it sort of onesie twosie? Here
it's very small, and I'll tell you the reason why. And that's one of the reasons why I invented the software, because contractors, foundation repair contractors, don't really understand heave, and they don't do a good enough analysis.
Don't understand what? Say it again.
Expansive soil heave. They don't understand that. They understand settlement.
Okay.
And so they want to put piers in everywhere where it's low, when in fact it might be low just because the middle's up, comparatively speaking. So you have to understand the problem. You have to understand the cause of the problem, and before you start putting solutions in. And the problem is that until people start doing better analysis and realizing that, this is not settlement, this is heave, the system is not going to go anywhere. So that's why I shifted my focus to the software, because once people understand it, understand the problem and recognize it for what it is, well, then the solution becomes, automatic. It's like, now we've got this problem and we can't fix it the way everybody else normally fixes these problems. We've got to come up with something different. What can we use? And there it is. Yeah,
my mind goes to, real estate, buying in terms of disclosures, right? Sediment. Right. If I'm looking to build have a new home built, I'm familiar with things like percolation tests for, water drainage, and maybe even for, septic and sewer or wells, but I don't think we hear enough about the actual soil quality for enduring, things like you're talking about. Is that even on a list?
You should always have a geotech on a new construction project. $3,000 is a really good investment so that you can avoid problems, because otherwise, without that soil information specifically that would come from a boring and from a soil engineer that understands the local geology and the strata and all that, without that, The structural engineer is just making guesses based on minimum allowable pressures, which, and it's not as simple as that, because there could be other problems that are completely unknown and unaddressed. So I think it's worth it to go ahead and do that.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a wild world. I mean, what happens beneath the ground? You don't. Interesting. Have you seen things come up? Have you been, I don't know, deposed as an expert in any type of insurance cases you've gotten involved in?
Yeah.
Anything you can share? Any fun stories there?
Well, I can't think of any of them from the court cases. I mean, there's cases all the time where people get these things mixed up, particularly contractors, because foundation repair contractors, like if you have a problem with your house, you Google foundation problem and up comes the foundation repair companies, because they spend $1 gazillion on Google. Then they're going to send out a commissioned salesperson who is paid 100% commission. And it might be a guy that was selling cars the year before, it's a salesman. And he doesn't really understand soil layering. He doesn't understand soil mechanics. He doesn't understand structural load paths. And so he's just telling people, hey, here's my idea, what I think you need to do, and it's a bit of a problem.
Got it. So with going after the patent on the software side, and sort of, as you kind of alluded to, software and methods, processes can be a bit trickier.
Yeah.
And not only to acquire, but to enforce as well, to sort of detect and find infringers. Is it still your goal to proceed and see that thing through to grant, or are you still on the fence?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Are you still looking to proceed with that, or are you more like, it doesn't matter if it grants or not? Are you still going for it?
I'd have to ask my IP attorney where it's at, to be honest with you. I got so many things going on. I haven't checked in with them lately, but I could.
Yeah.
It's not a priority for me,
So, all right. Well, I guess so what is priority here in 2026 for you? What's sort of your number one thing you're focused on?
Well, I have a number of companies that are starting to ask about my stem wall repair system, my carbon fiber composite stem wall system. And so that's probably going to take off. I've got a number of people interested in it, and I've just completed some testing with it. So that's probably, other than the software, which has already been going for quite a while, it's gradually increasing every month. I get more users. Who knows? Maybe I'll land a big fish somewhere and it'll really take off. But those are the two things that I'm working on right now for this year.
That sounds good. Help me out with the stem wall. Give us a quick 1 or 2 minutes. How does that work?
Sure. So stem walls have top and bottom rebar, and they're about 18 inches tall and about 6 inches wide. And these two rebars, top and bottom, moisture comes in through the ground and wicks up through the stem wall and exits the 6-inch space that gets left for termite inspection. Well, that path intercepts that top rebar, and the concrete starts out at an alkaline pH level, but due to carbonic acid from acid rain, the carbonic acid gets infused in the pores of the concrete and changes its pH level to an acidic pH level. And when that happens, you get a tiny microelectrical current that goes round and round with any metal embeds. And when metal rusts, the iron oxide takes up more room than the iron. So it starts putting pressure on the concrete, and eventually it cracks and splits it out, and chunks start falling off and all kinds of problems. Well, as long as you have any metal in there, that cycle is going to continue. And so, I started fixing these things 30 years ago. I tried lots of things, finally ended up with, just use composite rebar and composite hold down strap and a composite J-bolt replacement. And we came up with the name Never Rust, because there's nothing metal in there. It can't rust, right?
Right.
So that's the key, is to get rid of everything metallic in the stem wall. when you do the repair and put non-metallic items back in.
How long does that take for concrete to sort of transform, like you said? I mean, it depends on the amount of rain or the environment, I suppose. For rainy areas, maybe more than others.
It's on a lot of factors, but I've usually found about 8 or 9 years it starts to go.
Wow. Okay. Standard home construction, you tell me. I mean, I'm trying to think of anywhere where they would have steel or metal integrating right with the concrete. Is it common?
Yeah, everybody uses metal rebar, metal hold down straps, metal J bolts. I mean, metal is the easy, cheap item.
Yep.
But, there's fiberglass rebar now that is about as cheap as steel, and it's stronger.
Okay.
So I think you're going to see new construction applications start using fiberglass rebar more and more, because the metallic rebar just causes so many problems with moisture,
Okay. I've got one more wacky question. I'll pass over to Matt. This is probably way out. I am a purchaser of earthquake insurance. Okay. And it's a weird negative gamble thing. How often does that come up when the earth moves and you have foundation issues? To what degree can you avoid, a claim? I guess I'd say if there is an earthquake, any way where you would be able to be in the most advantageous place as a policyholder, what would be your thoughts around that?
Well, okay. So first of all, most insurance companies have what they call an earth movement exclusion. And that means that if it's not sudden and catastrophic and it's earth caused, you are not going to get them to pay for it. Now, if it's from an earthquake, that's a sudden and catastrophic thing. I think you'll get insurance to pay for it. Yeah. But earthquakes don't necessarily result in soil problems. They could, but they don't. I mean, they're going to probably do more visible damage just shaking the structure around and causing things to come loose, right? Which is a different problem. It's not a soil problem. You can fix that by going back up inside there and re-strengthening your connections and doing that kind of stuff, right? But if you're on problematic soil, like maybe soil that is hydrocollapsible, especially with shaking, well, then you can have a big problem in an earthquake. I think if you had a claim like that, you could get insurance to pay for it. I don't really know that there's much you can do to prevent it, except being cognizant of the soil that you're building on in the first place, and maybe not building in a place that has liquefaction as a possibility. You can build a really, really strong structure, but that doesn't stop it from sinking into the ground. It'll just kind of sink all together, on one end maybe or something, really it's all about the soil. It really is.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate your insight there, and you're inventing a lot of different things, still moving forward. I wish you the best this year, and thank you for being a guest on our show.
Awesome. Thank you. I had a great time.
Yeah. Thanks, Bob. Really interesting listening to you. I mean, I can tell you have a clear passion for what you do and a lot of working knowledge.
For sure. Yep. I've been doing it a while.
Yeah. No, there's something to that.
All right. Well, short and sweet. I tried firing away questions, get what we could from in that quick half hour, Matt. I'm going to let you get back to your day and let you all have a wonderful week. We'll be here next week on the Bold Inventor Show. Go big, go bold.
Go big, go bold at boldip.com.